Good morning, students. So today's class we will be discussing about pressure and wind systems of the world, and how different parts of world are having different pressure and wind systems. So first of all, pressure. So pressure already we have discussed. Actually, pressure is nothing but weight accepted by the air over unit surface area, that is called pressure actually. So it will be almost around 1 kg of air per centimeter square, that is 1034 gram per centimeter square. So there is a decimal point there actually. It is the decimal should not be there. It is actually 1034 gram per centimeter square, and the unit of pressure is millibar or hectopascal. And the mainly the variation why it is varying, or why we are having why different parts of the world are having different pressure, means that is mainly because of this unequal heating of the earth by the sun. So you know that the equator will be heated up more, and middle latitudes will be heated up less, and still polar regions will be still it will be lesser. And apart from that, rotation of the earth, that also will be causing the variation. In last class we have discussed about isolines for temperature. Isolines for temperature is called as isotherms. Same way, isolines for pressure is called as isobars. Isobars is nothing but lines connecting the places which are having equal pressure, that is called isobar. So the variation, diurnal variation. So you know that the temperature is the major factor which will be causing the variation, because it is pressure. Your pressure is mainly dependent on your temperature. So whenever the temperature is more, the air will be expanding. So when the air is expanding in unit volume, the air molecules, weight of air molecules will be lesser. Automatically the pressure also will be lesser. So in the opposite, when the temperature is lower, the air will be contracting. So when the air contracts, the weight of air over volume of particular volume area will be more. Automatically the pressure also will be more. So if the temperature is higher, the pressure will be lower. If the temperature is lower, the pressure will be higher. So this diurnal variation will be more prominent in the equator. So you know why? Because daytime the heating will be more, the night time it will be radiational cooling will be more. Automatically cooling and heating, the pressure also will be varying actually. So diurnal variation will be more prominent in equator than compared to mid and high latitude, where the temperature difference will be less. Diurnal temperature difference will be less. Automatically diurnal pressure variation also will be less. Then one more thing is that the pressure variation will be more at sea level. So means plain lands, there the pressure variation will be more, diurnal variation will be more. And if you travel towards hilly areas, so there won't be much difference between day and night temperature. Automatically the pressure variation also will be less. So that is how the diurnal pressure variation looks. And the table indicates the pressure readings of Velanikara, that is our main campus. If you look at here, there are first column and second column indicates morning and evening reading. So if you look at there, actually 8:30 readings are having high pressure, whereas 5:30 readings are having low pressure. So you know why it is. So morning it will be just heating up, because night radiation cooling might have happened. Land is too cold and it will be taking some time to heat up the land. So in that time the temperature will be little bit lesser, so automatically your pressure also will be more. So in the evening time, or in during 5:30, the land is heated up enough, because it is during night time the land is cooled up. So during the morning or 8:30 time, it will be still getting heated up, so it will not be that much heat. Whereas in the evening or 5:30, it might have heated up well enough, so automatically your air also will be heated up faster, means more heat also will be there for air. So when the temperature is more, the pressure will be lesser. That's why there is difference between 8:30 and 5:30. And at the same time, if you look at between different month also, the months which are having high temperature will be having low pressure, and opposite winter will be having high pressure. So next one is seasonal variation. You know that again the temperature will not be same throughout the day or throughout the year, so it will be varying actually. So because of that only we are getting different seasons. So when there is variation over different seasons, temperature is varying over different season, automatically your pressure also will be varying. So that is mainly because of the amount of insulation available in particular area. So if you take it that summer months or the March to May will be having lesser pressure because the temperature will be more, air will be expanding more, and amount of air or weight of air over volume of area will be less, so automatically your pressure also will be less. Whereas during if you look at during winter month, the pressure will be more. And like diurnal variation, we said it will be more prominent in equator areas. The seasonal variation will be more prominent in tropical areas compared to temperate, because tropical only we have definite seasons like winter, summer. If you look at the temperate area, there won't be much difference, much annual variation will not be there in temperature actually. It will be throughout the year, it will be almost similar. So pressure also will not be varying much. But in tropical area there are definite seasons, because there are variation in temperatures, automatically there will be variation in pressure also. So then one more thing is that when you are having high pressure between continent and ocean, that is also most important. So if you take continent, you know that there is a differential heating of land and water. So land will be heated up faster, whereas water will be heated up slowly. So this high pressure you will be getting, high pressure over continent will be recorded during cold season, whereas high pressure over oceans will be recorded during warm seasons. So in warm seasons, you know that land will be heated up, ocean will be heated up slower. And one more thing is that it will be evaporating more water actually. Automatically when evaporation happens, more cooling will be happening. So when there is more cooling happens, automatically air will be contracting, and automatically your pressure also will be more. So high pressure over oceans will be during warm seasons, whereas in land it will be during cold seasons. So this graph indicates the seasonal difference between seasonal difference of pressure actually. So summer will be having less, winter will be having high pressure. So this is pressure systems of the world. So because of this unequal heating and rotation of the earth, we will be having different systems of the pressure throughout the globe. So if you look at equator, it is at 0 degree, the pressure will be low, equatorial low pressure. So because the sun will be heating up more in this area actually, so air will be expanding more and the pressure will be lesser here. And the next area, or the area located between 25 to 35 degree will be having subtropical high pressure, because what happens here is actually equatorial low pressure, it will be the air will be land will be heated up and the air will be expanding and it will be moving towards higher area, upper levels, and once it reaches the upper level, it will be descending in subtropical high area, so automatically the pressure will be high there actually. Then the subpolar low, why the pressure is low means it is mainly because of the Coriolis force actually. Because of this Coriolis force, it will be I will be explaining what is Coriolis force in the next slide. Coriolis force will be displacing air parcel from one place to another place actually. So it will be displacing the air masses in subpolar low to subtropical high. Automatically the pressure will be low. And polar high, you know that the wind, the area is too cold, and your air particles also will be too cold, so it will be contracted and your pressure will be high. So similarly for southern hemisphere also same thing, subtropical high pressure, subpolar low pressure, polar high pressure. So subtropical high pressure will be between 25 to 35 degree, subpolar low pressure between 60 to 70 degree, and polar high will be 90 degree, so north and south. So that is what the pressure systems of the world. So equatorial low, it is mainly because of the solar radiation, it will be heating up and air will be expanding, the pressure will be low, and alternating high and low pressure will be there. Subtropical high is mainly due to descending of air from equatorial low. From equatorial low, the air will be rising and it will be traveling towards subtropical high in the upper level, and it will be descending, so high pressure you will be getting at subtropical high. And subpolar low, it is mainly because of your Coriolis force, polar high, it is mainly due to cold winds, cold air. So that is what the pressure systems of the world, that's how it looks, alternating pressure system. Apart from that, there are arrow marks are there actually that indicates your wind direction, how the wind flows. You know that it will be flowing from high to high pressure to low pressure area, that we will be discussing in the wind slide. So this variation, subtropical low or subtropical high or subpolar low, polar high or equatorial low, why this variation is, what are the causes of these variations? And these are the four major factors which causes this pressure variation. Actually, one thing is temperature. So already we have discussed enough on this: high temperature, low pressure, low temperature, high pressure, and altitude. So altitude, it is also one of the important parameter actually. You might have experienced this actually. So when you are traveling from plains to high altitude areas or hilly areas, some people will be feeling vomiting sensation and all actually, and some other people will be feeling like it will be pressing their head or it will be pressing their ear actually. More weight you will be feeling when you travel to high hilly areas actually. That is mainly due to pressure. So for every 10 centimeter of ascent, you will be losing 1 millibar or 1 hectopascal pressure. So that's why you will be feeling vomiting sensation, or the wind is pressing against your ear. Those feelings are mainly due to your pressure variation actually. So for every 10 centimeter ascent, you will be losing 1 hectopascal or 1 millibar pressure. So the next important factor is water vapor. So you know that when there are more water vapor in air parcel, your weight also will be more actually. So automatically your pressure also will be more in cold areas. And the next one is rotation of the earth, Coriolis force. That's what Coriolis force. It is invented by the scientist called Coriolis. So he named it after his name actually, Coriolis force. So Coriolis force is nothing but it will be acting on a wind. So in northern hemisphere, the wind will be deflected towards right side to the direction of the flow due to Coriolis force actually. So Coriolis force will be more increasing towards high latitudes. It will be 0 in equator and it will be increasing towards high latitudes. So it will be deflection will be towards right side in northern hemisphere and towards left side in southern hemisphere. So this is also an important parameter to for pressure variation actually. So already we have discussed that subpolar low, your pressure will be low mainly because of this Coriolis force. So this Coriolis force will be displacing the wind from one place to another place. So we will be having this variation in pressure. So these four parameters causes the pressure variation actually. Then the pressure systems. So there are different pressure systems, mainly if you speak low pressure system and high pressure systems. So you know what do you mean by isobar? Isobars are nothing but lines connecting the places which are having equal pressure. So isobars may be elliptical or circular actually. So if you take isobar, if the center of the isobar is having low pressure, then that system is called as low pressure system. At the same time, if the center of the isobar is having high pressure, that system will be called as high pressure system. So low or depression. So that's what if the center of the isobar is having low pressure, it will be called as low pressure system. It is otherwise called as depression or cyclone also. The wind direction or wind flow will be anti-clockwise actually, anti-clockwise in northern hemisphere and clockwise in southern hemisphere. So same pressure system only, low pressure system, if it appears in northern hemisphere, the wind flow will be anti-clockwise. If it appears in southern hemisphere, the wind flow will be clockwise. That you should remember. So so low pressure, that's what low or depression. And storm, mostly the wind speed of low or depression will be around 40 or less than 40 km per hour actually. Then storm, so it is the next stage actually. Means the central low pressure is there, no, it will be still reduced actually, still it will be lower when compared to the edges. So here you might have seen actually in left side image I have given L marked low. Outside if you look at the temperature is around, edge is around 1008 millibar, and inside the circle if you look at the temperature is 1000 millibar, means 1000 millibar. So that is that pressure is low at the center, and still the pressure is still lesser, means less than means maybe around 990 millibar. Then that time it will be called as storm. Still it is lesser, maybe 980 millibar. That time it will be called as hurricane or cyclone. So that's what different low pressure systems actually. IMD also it will be releasing this cyclone bulletins, and all you might have heard. Last week we had last 2 cyclones we had recently actually. That time and all, if you have read paper, you might have read this line: low pressure or depression or deep depression, like that. There are different stages of cyclone formation actually. First and foremost is low. When there is slight pressure difference or pressure decrease is there, that area will be marked as low, and they will be observing the area continuously, and if the still pressure comes down or still it is reduces, then the next stage it will be reaching, that is called as depression. They will be observing further, and if it still falls, the pressure still goes down, that will be called as deep depression. And the next stage, if it still falls again, that will be called as cyclone, and it will be again if it goes below, then it will be called as severe cyclone, very severe cyclone, super cyclone. So like that different stages are there in cyclone formation. That is mainly based on your pressure and wind difference. So that's what low, storm or hurricane. So hurricane is nothing but it is another name of cyclone. In India we will be calling it as cyclone, whereas in North Atlantic area they will be calling it as hurricane. In Australia they will be calling it as willy. In West North Pacific area they will be calling it as typhoons. The process is same but the name is different. That's what. So in the right hand side I have given cyclone image. If you look at the center, that's what eye of the cyclone, where the pressure will be too low actually. The center part of the isobar, that will be, the pressure will be too low. So from edge too low to, you know that from high pressure to low pressure the wind will be flowing, and if the pressure difference between edge to center is too high, the wind speed will be too fast. That's why we are getting more wind speed in hurricane or cyclone, that is more than 120 km/h. But in low region your wind speed will be less than 40 km/h, because the difference between pressure in center part and edge will be very less. Maybe 4 or 5 millibar difference will be there, whereas in hurricane or cyclone maybe it will be more difference will be there, pressure difference will be more. To compensate, the wind speed also will be higher. So then the next one is anticyclone. I said in the center part of the isobar is having low pressure, it is called low pressure system, whereas if it is high pressure it will be called as high pressure system. That high pressure system is otherwise called as anticyclone here actually. So here the wind flow will be clockwise in northern hemisphere and anti-clockwise in southern hemisphere, so opposite to that of cyclone. So the wind flow will be clockwise in northern hemisphere and anti-clockwise in southern hemisphere. And the next one is thunderstorm. So thunderstorm is nothing but charged particles will be there in clouds actually. Two opposite clouds which are having two opposite charged particles are meeting, then that time thunderstorm will be appearing with the big sound and lightning and all will be there actually. So that's what thunderstorm. Tornadoes also it is similar like cyclone, but here there will be connection between ground and atmosphere actually, and there will be a rotating drum will be there. The pressure will be too low at center and it will be increasing towards edge. So there will be connection between land and atmosphere. So mostly it will be occurring at mid latitudes and tropics. Most of the times it will be appearing at mid latitudes, tropics, and damage will be more severe actually here compared to cyclone. Damage will be more severe and it will be lifting anything which is available on the land and its pathway. So that's what tornadoes. And water spout, it is like similar to tornadoes. If it is appearing on water surface, that is called as water spout. So that's what the pressure systems, different pressure system, low pressure and high pressure systems. Then the next part is wind systems of the world. So as there are different pressure systems, automatically we will be having different wind systems actually. You know that pressure will be always flowing from high pressure area, wind will be always flowing from high pressure to low pressure area, so we will be having different pressure systems also. So in this image I have given pressure area is given, so always from high pressure area to low pressure area wind will be flowing, so the name will be different actually. First and foremost wind system is doldrum. So doldrum is it appears between 0 to 5 degree north and south, 5 degree north and 5 degree south. The area between 5 degree north and 5 degree south is called as doldrum, where the wind pattern, where the wind will be too calm. Why? Because from south subtropical high pressure southern hemisphere and subtropical high pressure northern hemisphere, both the wind will be flowing towards equator to compensate, because subtropical the high pressure will be there, equator will be low pressure, so automatically the wind will be flowing from high pressure to low pressure, so it will be flowing from subtropical area to equator area. So same way southern hemisphere also it will be flowing towards subtropical area. So when these two wind meet at equator, that area is called as doldrums, where the wind will be too calm, because that will be converging place. This place 0 to 5 degree north to 5 degree south, where your wind will be converging and it will be rising actually. So that's what doldrums. And next one is trade wind and anti-trade wind. So trade winds are nothing but the winds which are flowing from high pressure area to low pressure area, subtropical high pressure area to equatorial low pressure area. That wind is called as trade wind actually. It will be helping helping the trades. Otherwise this latitude, this around trade wind latitudes actually, where your trade will be happening, it will be helping the ship to move faster. So to move faster towards equator area. So these winds are called as trade winds. That is between it will be flowing from 30 degree north to equator side in both hemisphere. And anti-trade wind, so opposite to that will be happening at the upper levels. So trade wind will be happening at the surface levels. So you know that equator will be heated up more, the wind will be rising above the equator. At upper levels the pressure will be high. So whereas at the same way subtropical at subtropical high pressure area, at upper levels the pressure will be low. So to the pressure, the wind movement will be opposite in the upper level, that will be flowing from equator to subtropical high pressure area in upper levels. So that wind is called as anti-trade wind actually. So trade wind and anti-trade wind, that's all. And you might have had harsh latitude and all, harsh latitude. So why it is called harsh latitude means nothing but it will be they will be trading more horse actually. So if the conditions are not favorable, if the wind is not favorable, that time they will be dropping the horse there actually. In that particular area they will be dropping the horse. Means healthy horses are if you feel that this if you drop some horses, your ship will be lighter and you will be you can move on from that particular place actually. So to do that they will be dropping the horses there actually. That's why this latitude is otherwise called as harsh latitude also. So that's what trade winds and anti-trade winds. Next one is prevailing westerlies. So prevailing westerlies means nothing but from subtropical high pressure area the wind will be flowing towards subpolar low. So that wind is called as prevailing westerlies, where in this region only high precipitation zones are there actually. So this helps in more rainfall, so more precipitation, high precipitation zones are there in this latitudes. Next one is polar easterlies. So nothing but from polar high pressure area the wind will be flowing towards subpolar low pressure area. So this wind is called as easterlies. So easterlies or westerlies are nothing but from where the wind is coming. That's why they are calling as westerlies and easterlies. And here you can see that the wind is always deflected to some side actually. It is not flowing straight from subpolar low to subtropical high to subpolar low or subtropical high to equator. There is always some deflection. So this deflection is mainly due to your Coriolis force. So wind will be deflected towards right to its direction of flow in northern hemisphere, and to the left to the direction of flow in southern hemisphere. That also you should remember. And these are all the wind systems of the world. Apart from that, there are local wind systems also available, like mountain wind, valley wind, sea breeze and land breeze. So mountain winds are nothing but so the wind will be flowing from mountain to valley areas, and valley wind nothing but from valley to mountain areas. So it will not be happening at the same time. Different times of the day it will be happening actually. So during the daytime the mountains will be colder and the valley will be little bit hotter. That time it will be your wind will be flowing from mountain to valley. So during night time opposite will happen, that is called the valley wind. And next one is sea breeze and land breeze. So you know that there is a differential heating between land and sea. So sea will be heated up too slowly, whereas land will be heated up too faster. Same way cooling also, cooling will be happening over land surface too faster, whereas your sea surface will be cooling will be too slow actually. So what happens is when daytime your land will be heated up faster and the pressure will be lower in land side compared to sea side. So automatically the wind will be flowing from sea to land, that is called sea breeze, that will be happening during the daytime. At the same time land breeze during night time, you know that your land will be losing its heat too faster compared to ocean. So land will be cooled up faster compared to ocean. So automatically your pressure will be high at land and low at sea, and then the wind will be flowing from land to sea. That breeze is called as land breeze, and that will be happening during night time. So this is what the different pressure systems of the world. So I will show a website where you can see the systems, this pressure and wind systems. I said there will be no active cyclones in northern hemisphere now. Somewhere you can see here. If you look at here a cyclonic circulation is there here actually. So if you look at here, the wind is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, cyclone. So cyclone, if it appears in northern hemisphere, the wind will be anti-clockwise direction. Same way we will look at southern hemisphere, if there is any cyclone in southern hemisphere. Here there is a small system actually, you can look at here. Say it is in clockwise direction. It is not that much prominent, the cyclone is not that much prominent, but even you can see a cyclonic circulation. The wind is in clockwise direction. Similarly here also you can see there is a small systems. Wind is in clockwise direction. So that is what for today's class, and if you have any clarifications and doubt, you can come up with that. We will be having a discussion maybe by Saturday or Friday. We will be having a discussion on this. Thank you.